Okay, this is American Dream in the 50s, chapter 19.2. We're going to go over the study guide questions and read through this, okay? So here's the main idea. During the 1950s, the economy boomed and many Americans enjoyed material comfort. And then here are your terms, which you need to write down and define. This is a personal voice. Let's go to the next page. It says, by 1956, what kind of jobs did many Americans have? So Americans had stopped having so many jobs in blue collar, which were more factory working jobs. Now they had white collar jobs, which are clerical, managerial, or professional occupations. Okay, so they did sales, advertising, insurance, and communications. Number 2, what was one of the first successful franchises in America? Okay, so franchises, McDonald's, okay? So in the decades since Kroc opened his first McDonald's, franchising has become all but a way of life in the United States. Today, there are nearly 3,000 franchise companies operating over 500,000 businesses throughout the country. Number 3, what year during the baby boom was the birth rate the highest? Okay, here's more on franchising. Conglomerates, how are they different than franchises? They talk a little bit more about the hamburgers here. And then let's keep going. Suburban life. So people had more job security, but they expected them to repress or have whatever personality that the employer wanted them to have. Most of the people worked in the cities, but a lot of them didn't live in the cities. They drove into the cities because there was new highways. They could do that. And then the baby boom, number 3, we have that there was a whole bunch of babies in 1957. So American infants, one American infant was born every 7 seconds for a total of 4,308,000 that year. The result was the largest generation in the nation's history. Number 4, by 1960, what percentage of women with kids were working? Was it a fair workplace? Give some examples, okay? So, and then they're going to talk about polio, which was a disease that paralyzed President Franklin D. Roosevelt and affected 58,000 American children in 52, killing some, and others had problems with walking and their lungs. And then comes along Salks, who comes up with a vaccine. And then later, Sabin comes up with some other help to make sure that people don't have polio anymore. Okay. And then the baby boom had a tremendous impact not only on child care, but on the American economy and the educational system as well. In 58, toy sales alone reached $1.25 billion. During the decade, 10 million new students entered the elementary schools. The sharp increase in enrollment caused overcrowding, teacher shortages in many parts of the country. Let's go back. So the women's role by the 1960s. So the number of women working outside the home rose steadily during the decade. By the 1960s, almost 40% of mothers with children between 6 and 17 held paying jobs. But pay was not fair, and opportunity for different types of jobs wasn't fair either. So women usually had to be nurses, teachers, office support, and they were paid less than other people, men. Okay. Number 5, what leisure activities did many Americans do? So there was a lot of people were working 40 hours a week versus longer hours. So Americans enjoyed all kinds of sports, watching television. Let's see, reading. So you can see they have Reader's Digest, Sports Illustrated. Okay. Describe the impact of the automobile. So let's see. No state had exemplified automania in the U.S. more than California. By the late 90s, Californians owned more cars, held more driver's licenses, and traveled more miles on their roads than the people of other states. Contributing to the importance of the automobile in Southern California's suburban lifestyle. This dependence on cars had contributed to problems of air pollution and traffic jams. So let's go down here. During World War II, the U.S. government had rationed gasoline to curb inflation and conserve supplies after the war. However, an abundance of both imported and domestically produced petroleum led to inexpensive and plenty and a lot of gas for people, basically. So let me look at that question again. So the impact of automobiles on America, if we go back, so we have air pollution and traffic jams. So a lot of people driving. Suburb living made owning a car a necessity. So people had to have cars if they were going to drive from their home to their job in the city. Let's see. So we have the highway system. So that was another impact. It says 7, many consumers made their purchases on blank and therefore did not have to pay for them right away. So credit, which a lot of us do now, is we pay with credit. Okay, 8, what new technologies became a powerful advertising tool? Okay. Cruising teens. Let's keep going. In the 1950s, advertising made keeping up with the Joneses a way of life for consumers. One new product after another appeared in the marketplace as various industries responded to consumer demand. Newsweek magazine reported in '56 that hundreds of brand new goods have become commonplace overnight. So people were buying washing machines, dryers, blenders, freezers, and dishwashers in record numbers. And other things you can read about there that they bought. In addition to creating new products, manufacturers began using a marketing strategy called planned obsolescence. I haven't heard that word before. It's OBSOLESCENCE. So it's right by planned right there. So that is number 8. So we're going to stop there. And I will work on 19.3 with you guys tomorrow. Okay. See you later.